Okay, got it. All right, so I'll share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Good, okay. So I just kind of laid it out like the way my coach taught me how to do coach sneak peeks. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Obviously, ask questions throughout the call if you have any, or you can wait till the end, whatever you want to do. So I'll just kind of start. So the obvious points like leading up to the coach sneak peek. So decide who you're going to host the sneak peek with. Even if you don't want to do it with someone, I know a lot of people like to do it by themselves. My very first coach sneak peek, I did it by myself. I was terrified, but I knew like how important it was to run sneak peeks. And I knew how important it was because people want to hear from you, not from people on your upline that they have no idea who they even are. So they want to hear from you and your experiences and your story. So if you haven't done one yet, I highly suggest you do one. Even if you wanted to run one with someone on our team or someone, maybe your upline coach. I've run a few with a lot of different people. I don't mind running them. I think the more you do, the better, because people want to hear about coaching, obviously, and what it's done for you. Not so much about what we do, but a lot of people want to know your story behind coaching. So plan with your partners who's going to say what. All those are just obvious points. And then this is just, I took screenshots of what I did. I do this on the app called Unfold. And then I also use WordSwag. So there's a few different apps that you can use. But I think it's really important to share your story, who you were before coaching. I know I've seen a few of you do it before. Shelby's done it before. We kind of watched like top coaches do it, how they kind of talk about who they were before coaching, like whether you were shy or whether you were insecure. Like if you can see here, I kind of talked about how I was unfulfilled. I didn't really have a vision. I was insecure. What the boot camps did for me. I feel like being specific is really important, like not just saying, I did this program and I lost weight. Like you have to be specific about what the programs did for you from the inside out, not just like losing weight from the programs. And just like sharing your own story and being like true to who you are, not like sharing someone else, like kind of copying someone else's. People want to know your story and where you came from and how coaching has changed your life. So I kind of use all of the pillars. Like I start physically, like how like what these boot camps did for me physically. Obviously, it got me in better shape. And then how I went from there to coaching. So I talked about how it took me 3 times to say yes to coaching, and how I just kind of kept pushing it back. And then I kind of bring in, as you can see over here, the community aspect. It's kind of cut off for me because I just see all of you guys, but I talk about the community aspect. You can keep it like short slides. Mine were kind of long this week, but I was just kind of trying to get more detail. I talked about here like the traveling, what we do as coaches, like our mission. I talked about here like the freedom of time coaching has given me, income, like everything. People want to know like in depth what coaching has done for you. And I think like when you share before you even invite to the coaching sneak peek on your stories, it's really good to like show what it's done for you. So this is what I do. I try to do it at least once or twice a month, and I don't use the same ones every single time. I like to switch it up every time. I don't go back to the same one that I used last month. I just get bored of seeing the same things, me personally, so I like to switch it up every time. Sometimes I use the same pictures, but I like to switch it up, especially if I have like a different transformation photo that month, or photos from different trips. Like, I don't know, I like to switch it up personally. And then here you can't really see it. I can't really see it anyway, but it kind of talks about like, why not you? Like, why wouldn't you do this for you? And then that's kind of when I would do like a poll or like a sliding thing. Don't really know what it's called. But there's different ones you can use. Obviously, you could do like the question one, like, do you have any questions about coaching? And I know I've done this before, Shelby's done this before, but you can actually ask yourself questions and say like questions you think other people would ask you. And then you can share it, because not a lot of people are brave enough to ask questions. I use Riley's example for posting because I know a lot like how important it is to also share it on Insta stories and on your feed when you're talking about coaching. So right here, Riley got really into depth about coaching. She talked about like her schooling and how like she didn't feel as fulfilled as she did at school walking across stage as she did at Coach Summit. And I think like when you're sharing like in depth about how you're feeling in your posts, like people relate to that and they want to hear not so much about what we do behind the scenes, but what it's done for us personally. So sharing it in not just in your Instagram stories, but in your posts as well. Not everyone watches Instagram stories, and not everyone like watches your feed. So I feel like doing both platforms is important. So that's why I like to share Rise. Everyone obviously in here has great posts about coaching, but this was just an example. And then the actual sneak peek. So there's a few ways you can do it. I've done all of them. I guess there's not really a right or wrong one to choose, but it's kind of like choosing which one you think is best for you and what works for you. There's a private Facebook group. You could do it in multiple days. You could do it in one day. All depends on how you feel. Like if you're doing it in multiple days, I would probably like have one person talk one day, one person talk the next. You can do an Instagram page. So I'm going to show all these examples on the other slides, but these are just examples you could do. And then you could do a recorded or a live Zoom chat. We did that last week. And what I love about that is people can hop on and join live. And if they don't, you can record it and send it to them. And I think like using these with your Instagram page is good, especially if people can't watch your like actual live videos on the Instagram page if you run out of time, because it only lasts for 24 hours, right? So recording the live Zoom chat is I think it's more personal too, because you're like chatting with the other girls and it shows like the community we have, not just like we're coaches together, but we're actually friends. So I actually think that's like my personal favorite one so far. Especially because you can just copy and paste the link and send it to whoever can make it. So it's just kind of playing around with like which one you like best. And these are just some topics you can include. So your stories, I think that's like number one, most important. People relate to your story. They want to know like what got you here. If you had fears, like nobody's perfect. None of us were like, let's jump. Well, some of us, I guess, but like not all of us were like, I'm going to coach. Let's do this. Like people want to know what happened and how you got to where you are. Your fears before coaching, the ins and outs of what we do, not like too specific. I feel like that gets kind of boring. I feel like people more so want to know your story. And then you could talk about perks like the trips and the income. And I know some people are like, well, I've never been on a trip yet, or I don't make a lot of income. That doesn't matter. You can even talk about what $60 has done for you. Like everyone starts somewhere, and I think it's important to even just talk about the little, like any paycheck that you're receiving is like a gift, and people would be like pumped to receive any amount of money from what we do. And as for the trips, like you can talk about your goal is to get there. Your goal is to get on that trip, like saying like I watched my coach go on these trips, like I'm gonna be there. Kind of like sharing it publicly, I think is knowing that people can like get there too, kind of thing. And then obviously community is like huge. A lot of people want the community and knowing like they're not in this alone. I feel like a lot of people are like worried, like I won't be able to do this, like I'm not going to be able to keep myself accountable. I feel like the community aspect is like super important to touch on. And then I'm going to show you guys, I kind of have it up here. I don't know if I can, whoops. One sec. I'm going to show you Shelby and I's like coaching sneak peek we did in January. Because I like the way we kind of set it up. So we had like a meet the coaches post. So this was before like even sharing our videos. Shelby kind of created like what we do, how long we've been a coach for, stuff like that. So that way people know a little bit about who we are before we do like our videos. And then we even did like a client spotlight. So we showed like our transformation photos. People like to see like what these programs have done for us, especially if they've never even done the programs before. This we showed like the community aspect, like all of the trips we've been on together, the coach events. Like I think like having an album section was pretty cool because people got to see like that we always get together and see each other once in a while. And do it like together, not knowing that they're not alone. And then here we had like how excited we were for it. It kept engagement. I think it was like really fun to show them like how excited we were. And then obviously we had a schedule. So here was like we said Shelby's video, her story, our income progression. So we showed a picture that was like a visual we showed them. And then kind of like just showing them like what to expect throughout the day. I thought this went really well. And then we even created FOMO, so like showing the new coaches that were signing up. This was like a very successful coach sneak peek. I don't know if it was because January was like everyone wanted to like start a brand new, I don't know, New Year's resolution, but it went really well. And then obviously after our videos, we had people ask questions. And then we had like, so are you in? And then this was like showing them how to sign up. We even had what they would get, and the pricing and everything. It went really well, I think, because we had it very organized. There's an income progression, but just showing like different things about coaching and like obviously following up after. This is like a huge part, I think, because I feel like a lot of people just feel like they're not interested, like they didn't message me. I think you need to message them because you never know, like they could be scared to reach out to you. So that was the Facebook group. And then we recently started an Instagram page. This is like a private Instagram page. We kind of just like share, we shared pictures of like what we do as coaches. And I think like this is really our market because a lot of people are on Instagram and not so much Facebook anymore. And it's super easy to just be like, here, go follow this page, read all the captions. It tells what we do as coaches. And then we created highlights for the trip. We created the products, like what to do when you're ready. They click that highlight and it shows them how to sign up. It's really like, I really like it, especially because it's super easy. And then this is where we do the live video chat. So we send them the, as you can see right here in the info section right here, they can click that if they weren't able to like make the live recording. And then, yeah, it's ready for them if they have like any questions. It's super helpful because like if they have certain questions about coaching, it's literally all right there. They just have to read the captions. Like here, Riley talks about how to sign up. And then when you swipe, she has a video talking about it. Here we have like income progression. And then if you swipe on it, I have like a video explaining about income and how we make income. We have one about just community. We have one about going on trips, like transformations. We have everything on there. And I think it's just like an easier way to send people if they have questions about coaching. So yeah, it's another way. And then this was the live Zoom call we did. Basically, I had like transformations up of everyone. And then whenever it would switch to the next person, it would say, for instance, it was Riley's turn. She would talk about her story, what coaching has done for her. And then we'd switch to the next person. And it's just kind of cool because we're all there at the same time. And it's like really showing community and knowing that like we're all in this together. And there was actually a few people that hopped on. And they like, a lot of people like related to our stories and like hearing that we were scared to sign up as coaches too, like at the beginning too, they like to hear that. So I think more like being specific about what brought us here, and like our transformations obviously show that we've changed through coaching, but really explaining that in the sneak peek. And this I just said, like, share your why and really emphasize your story. Basically what I just said, but I just think it's so important to run sneak peeks every single month, because if you're not, I feel like people won't really know like what like coaching is deep down and like behind the scenes. So yeah, that's my little presentation. Does anyone have any questions, comments? No? Is anyone running one this month or planning on running one next month? Ashley, what are you doing? Like Instagram page? Oh, you're muted. Still can't hear you. Shit. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's my computer. Unless, can anyone else hear her? No? Okay. Oh, there she is. She's chatting. Oh, you're doing Instagram. Okay. Are you doing like a live Zoom or live Insta video thing? Okay, cool. Awesome. Anyone else?
So Brooke, Paige, and I are gonna do one on Instagram as well. Wait, you can hear me, right?
Yep.
Just thought I'd check. So we're doing like, basically we have the majority of the info like in the posts, and then we're just gonna do some stories like throughout the day.
Oh, cool. I like that idea. I love Instagram. I think it's like, it's definitely our market. I feel like a lot more people want to be on Instagram over Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I
found that like a lot of people just didn't even bother clicking on the Facebook link when I sent it to them, like to do a coaching group on Facebook. People are just so like anti-Facebook now.
It's true. It's true. I agree. Has anyone not ran one yet? I guess if you're newer, you probably wouldn't have yet. Yeah. Michaela, you haven't ran one yet, right? No. Oh, can't hear you, girl.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, no, I haven't yet.
No, you will though.
I will eventually. I'll get there.
I feel like you just gotta like rip the band-aid, jump the gun. Like I was so scared. Like I remember doing my first video and I was like, oh my god, this is so scary. But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, and it gets easier.
Yeah.
Other than that, that was pretty much it. I didn't really have anything else planned other than kind of sharing with you like different ways to do coach sneak peeks. Next week I'm away. I won't be able to host a team. I'll be going to Mexico. But you guys should definitely do like a live power hour, since that's the last day of the month. Or maybe if someone wants to host a team call. But just thought I'd let you know I won't be here next Wednesday, unfortunately. But thanks everyone for hopping on. I will stop recording, and I'll post it on the team page. All right, ladies.